All right, today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be taking a look at this Paolo Banchero build on NBA 2K24. Now, Paolo and the Orlando Magic have been having a pretty awesome start to the NBA season this year, and they are currently the 2 seed in the East. But with all that out of the way, man, let's get started with today's video. Let's go. Now, guys, it is the holiday season. If you're looking to buy a basketball jersey during this holiday season for yourself or for a loved one, I highly recommend you check out my sponsor, pristinejerseys.com. You're going to find a bunch of really great quality jerseys at a low price on this site. Link is going to be down in the description. All right, so when making this build, you can realistically make it at 2 positions. You can either make it at small forward or power forward. If you want to get the shades of Paolo, you make it at power forward, but I ended up going at small forward because I really want to play just the 3 or the 4. If I make it power forward, I might end up playing the 5 sometimes if I'm playing rec, and I really don't want to do that on this type of build because the rebounding is not going to be good enough to play the 5. But this build is really good at the 3 and at the 4, though. For the height, we obviously went 6'10", and this is actually a really good height because it's the shortest height you can go to get the big man standing contact dunks, which are very nice to have on this build. Weight 215 pounds just to get a little bit of strength while still having a lot of speed, and a 7'2" wingspan. All right, so starting things off in the finishing, we're going to have an 88 driving layup, which is going to get you float game on Hall of Fame, as well as Scooper Hall of Fame, 2-step Hall of Fame, and fearless finisher on gold, which is going to help you make contested layups around the paint. And we're also going to have an 89 driving dunk, which is going to get you both of the pro contact dunks. Now, if you want to go up to 90 to get precision dunker on gold, you absolutely can if you want to, but I don't think precision dunker is that great of a badge this year. I ended up just sticking with the 89 dunk for the silver precision dunker and the contact dunks. Moving on to the standing dunk, we're going with an 81 to get the big man standing contact dunks, as well as rise up on silver. And then we went with a 75 post control just to get some post scoring badges in our game. Have post fade phenom on gold, as well as post spin technician on silver. All right, so when it comes to the finishing highlights on this build, man, listen, you're going to be a bucket when driving to the rim, speed boost right there, get the nice tomahawk dunk, and you're also going to be nasty out in transition. This is also another reason why I like making the build at small forward, because I don't feel like it's super necessary for me to always crash for rebounds. I can sometimes just run the break and score in transition with some easy buckets, because you're throwing it out on the break to a guy that's 6'10" that can he can drive to the rim without any issue. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, the 6'10" builds are kind of underrated this year. I've been hating them a lot this year because I'm always like, oh, why would I go 6'10" when I could just go 6'9", get better jump shots, get better animations? But if you do want big man standing contact dunk, 6'10" is a really cool height because you can still get physical handles on this build. You still get a 76 ball control. So this is actually like a perfect in between like big man slash like build that still has like guard capabilities. It's actually a really fun build to play on, and I'm actually liking 6'10s now. And one super underrated badge this year as well is big driver on Hall of Fame. That's actually one of my favorite badges on this build as well, when you combine that with physical handles too. And look at this, out in the break, we're just blowing right past people, then we're taking them into the half court, hit them with the behind the back, run right past them, and that is an easy tomahawk dunk. And one big thing that I really do like about the 6'10s as well is that you can actually still get pro with dribble style on this build as well, because we went with a little bit of a lighter weight. So we still have decent strength, we got an 84, but we're able to move really fast on this build, and we still get pro dribble style, which in my opinion for like the wing players is the best dribble style in the game. So all in all, man, this build has a lot of upsides to it because of the height. It's a good combination between wings and bigs. It still has some of that wing versatility while still getting some of the positive effects that a big man can have. You're going to be an elite finisher on this build as well, but now let's talk about the shooting. All right, so when it comes to the shooting on this build, we're going with an 82 mid-range shot so we can get catch and shoot on gold. We're also going to have an 82 three-point shot so we can get Claymore on gold on this build. Now, Paolo Banchero has actually been shooting really well from 3 this year. He's shooting around 40% from 3, which is pretty great, especially considering he's 6'10". And with this build, you're also going to get agent 3s on bronze. That's just one other thing that I want to mention. So you're going to be able to hit shots out at the 3-point line in the catch and shoot situations and off of the dribble as well. And like I mentioned earlier, having that gold Claymore and gold catch and shoot is going to make you a knockdown shooter in those spot up situations when you're trying to shoot out at the 3-point line. And this fits Paolo very well because again, he's shooting around 40% for 3. And as you can see right there, we're also hitting shots off the dribble out in the mid-range area. But again, man, I just want to clarify really quickly, the dribble pull-up I am using on this build is Kevin Durant, which is something you can only get when you have starter 3. So if you're trying to figure out what fade I'm using, there's your answer right there. Maybe somebody will ask it again in the comments down below, which is very likely because I think I mentioned it like 3 to 4 times in the last video. Like I went out of my way to mention it multiple times throughout the video, and then there was still a comment like, yo, what dribble pull-up is that? And it's just like, bruh, come on, man. But if you do not have access to Kevin Durant pull-up, I highly recommend that you use Dirk Nowitzki instead. Basic's also a really good option, but I like the variety and phase that you could do with Dirk Nowitzki, especially when you don't hold your right trigger. But again, man, with this build, you're going to be a knockdown shooter out at the 3-point line, and you're also going to be able to create your own shot in the mid-range area. But now moving on to the jump shot. Now I couldn't show you guys all these shooting highlights without giving you guys the jumper I am using. Base is going to be Jonathan Isaac, release 1 LaMarcus Aldridge, release 2 Franz Wagner, and you guys can see the blends. It's got an A+ release speed and A release height, which is really nice to have on a big man jump shot. All right, so when it comes to the pass accuracy, we're going to get a 75, which unlocks break starter on silver, which is a very nice passing badge to have, especially for big players. We're also going to have a 76 ball handle, which is going to get you big driver on Hall of Fame, physical handles on gold. You're also going to have a 70 speed with ball on this build, which is going to unlock pro dribble style, which is the best dribble style in the game, and it's actually surprising you could get it on a 610. All right, so moving on to the playmaking highlights. Listen, 75 pass accuracy is going to be serviceable. You're going to get the job done. God, I sound like such a broken record, but that's just what 75 pass accuracy is, man. Not the elite pass accuracy like 86, 91, 95, you know, but it's 75. It's good, it's serviceable. It'll work in 3v3. It'll work in casual 5v5 situations. You'll be able to throw some dots, man. But listen, there's also one other thing that I do want to cover. Listen, man, sometimes it is hard getting playmaking highlights in rec because I used to always make sure that my teammate would score when I would pass them the ball in order to consider it as a clip for a playmaking highlight in one of these videos. But nowadays, y'all just can't hit a shot. So if I show a clip and somebody gets a wide open shot and they miss, hey man, that's still making it in the video. I don't care at this point. Yeah, again, man, 75 pass accuracy is going to be really good, especially if you're just playing rec. You're gonna get the job done. And then talking about the actual ball handle on the build, the 76 is actually really nice because you're gonna get the, I believe it's the Jason Tatum moving behind the back. That's the really nasty one. I think that's the one that Laker fan uses, and he kind of put me onto it because I've like pretty much watched him use it on his 610 every single day, and it's kind of like one of his go-to moves. So I know it's effective. I know it works really well on the 610. I see it practically every day against like the top defenders in the freaking game. So it's a good move. And you also get big driver on Hall of Fame, which is a really nice badge. You also get physical handles on gold, which are all just really nice badges to have on a 610 build like this. And then again, here are all of the playmaking animations that I am using on this build. And some of these you might see and not be able to actually get on your version of the build. A good example of this is the LeBron James moving crossover. Again, that is something that is locked by starter 3 rep. So if you don't have that yet, well, you don't get that animation, but the build is still really good even without having the starter 3 unlocked. All right, so now moving on to the defense, we're going to have a 61 interior, a 71 perimeter defense for bronze challenger, a 78 block to get chase down artist on silver, as well as bronze anchor, a 77 defensive rebound to get box out beast on silver, and you're also only going to have bronze rebound chaser. Now, Paolo Banchero is a decent defender, especially considering he's 6'10". He's just going to be a good defender regardless. Like, it is hard to be that tall and that physically gifted to not be a decent defender, but he's not like an elite defender like a Giannis. So these stats, I think, replicate his build really well. And not only that, but defensive block is just weird in this year's game. Like, defensive attributes are just very, very expensive. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, I don't think there's going to be a build for the rest of the year that I give anything higher than silver anchor. I just don't see the need or the purpose for it. Silver anchor is perfectly fine, and golden Hall of Fame anchor are just really expensive, and they don't work as much better than silver. And now here's the build pretty much fully maxed out. You can kind of see everything right now, especially the physicals. You're going to get an 84 strength, which is going to get you a bunch of really great badges, a 78 vertical, which is required in order to get both of the pro contact dunks. So do not lower your vertical lower than a 78. And you're also going to get pretty good speed on this build. It's going to be in the mid-high 70s, which is very nice to have on a 6'10" build. And now coming out of the My Player builder, you're going to actually get some interesting player shades. You're going to get the shades of Michael Porter Jr., Tracy McGrady, and Brandon Ingram, and you're going to get the build name 3-level threat. Now, again, if you made this build a power forward, you would get the shades of Paolo Banchero, but I ended up making it small forward for a lot of reasons that I explained earlier on. That's going to be it for today's video, man. I'm out. Peace.